This summer, serve up the Cookout Classics, Heinz Ketchup, and Kraft Singles. Every good burger needs a layer of perfectly melty cheese and thick, rich ketchup. We all know it's not a cookout without Heinz and Kraft.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you are the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
And action!
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Filmmakers Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk filmmaking, from indie films to studio films and everything in between. How to make them, how to get them made, how to not try to F them up, in our very humble opinion. I am your host, Dom Lenoir, and today we are in for an extraordinary treat because we are talking to the incredible actors Common and Alexandria Riley from the hit show Silo. Yes, that's right. Arguably, in my books, one of the best science fiction TV shows of the last 10 years. Silo is an incredible story of an underground network of silos where human beings are pitted against AI. Led very valiantly by the incredible Rebecca Ferguson, Common and Alexandria Riley also form a very important part of the judicial service within the show. It's one of those kind of shows where the audience knows very much as little as the people that are battling away in the background. And it brings up so many interesting questions and psychological conundrums, because any decision that's made may be dooming people to extinction, their silo being shut off, food shortages, water shortages, electrical shortages, radiation. There's all kinds of gaslighting going on. There's just many, many layers to the show, and it's incredibly well written and designed. And the acting is extraordinary across the board. And these two characters especially have been really instrumental in growing across the 3 seasons. They started off as carbon cutouts, kind of villain couple, married and in sort of power positions amongst the silo. But as the 3 seasons have developed, and especially this season, their roles have drastically changed as their allegiances are tested amongst the workers and Rebecca's character as the truth starts to become uncovered. I think he's an incredible actor for a start, Common. I mean, considering he was a hip-hop artist I used to listen to when I was younger, back in the skateboarding days, he's got a real screen presence. He's got an absolute effortless ability to command the screen. And Alexandria is equally imposing and impressive on the screen. And I think they have to go through some really interesting relationship dynamics, especially in this season, as they're kind of, in a way, pitted against each other, and yet also sharing a kid. But we'll go more into that into the episode. But without much further ado, please enjoy our episode of Silo, Season 3, with Common and Alexandria Riley. Hi, I'm Dom Lenoir from the Filmmakers Podcast.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank
What's
you.
up, Dom? How you doing?
Very good, very good. I haven't been gripped like television like this in a very long time.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much.
It's such a smart, complex, incredibly good show. Yeah, I was trying to have a little bit of an unwind on the way here, listening to some of your music from Blast from the Past, Common. Just
Oh yeah,
Nice.
good. I like that. I like the combination of Silo and some music. That's good, bro.
well, good old TV and good music.
Yeah.
But let's talk about your characters. I mean, you're both stuck in such an incredibly difficult situation this season, especially, and it's been like a real journey to sort of get there. Because obviously you've got this kid, you've got your power dynamics flipping on their heads multiple times, and I suppose you've got this kind of lurking in the background that any decision you make could be doom for both the wider people and your family, and it really feels like you're sort of thrown into many impossible situations. What was it like sort of jumping into this season, and how much information about what was going to transpire were you given?
Well, jumping into this season was great. For me, I really was excited. I think we both were because, I seen where they were taking our characters in season 3, and I was looking forward to like, oh man, this is a journey because, I it was something I was watching. I can't remember what it was, but it was talking about how when you identify yourself as something, but that identity gets broken down. Like it's no longer can be that. Or the world doesn't see you in that way. Like if you identified yourself as a superstar and then eventually, you don't have all that hype around you. I feel like Robert Sims has identified himself as someone who has been trying to save the silo in a way of working with judicial and doing the things that he thought was right from the powers that be. But that whole identity of being able to be that type of individual and fight for the greater good, it got broken down. It got shattered. And to find out who you are, through the journey of this season was like a great character and thing for me to play as an actor. And you even learn stuff about yourself when you're dealing with characters sometimes. So this was one of my favorite like projects to be a part of, but this season was definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, I agree. I felt exactly the same about it, and especially for Camille to be put in such an impossible position so quickly and have the team that she once knew, because they were always ride or die, Sims and Camille, and to see that start to break down and secrets start to have to be put in place and they just kind of splinter off. It's always exciting to explore conflict, and explore relationships. But yeah, it was definitely a challenge, but a really exciting one.
How do you kind of figure out keeping the love for each other's characters and also I guess the hope for what your child character is gonna like grow up into? Like, how do you balance that with, because obviously like it's getting very heavy, you're really pitted against each other as the season goes on, and it seems like you're really like walking the line between somehow keeping this kind of love between each other despite your duty.
Yeah, I feel at least for me, as I was Robert Sims, I didn't feel that like my love changed. Like I didn't lose the love for her, but I wasn't loving some of the things that she was doing and the behavior, and I didn't, and the trust was starting to leave. And that's something that we dealt with in life sometimes. I've been in relationships where it's like the trust on either side is dispersing, and it's like it's tough to like be in that type of situation, especially when, as Alex said, we would ride or die. Like this, the person that Robert Sims would go to and talk to about everything that, besides the things that he thought would put her in jeopardy, he talked about everything. And for them not to have that, and then to know that you're doing something going against the person you love the most, and then you're still trying to make sure your child is safe and our child is safe. It's like, man, it was like, as Alex said, it was great to be in that conflict. Like as an actor, you always look for like stuff that's conflicting. You don't want to be one note or just the hero, just that, so it felt like real relationship stuff. I as much as we were dealing with the business of the silo, this was about our relationship too this season.
And Alexandra, how did you navigate going through that?
The same way. We were. It's funny you mention it because that's a conversation we had on the daily, wasn't it? Like we have to continuously make sure we are communicating their love. It's not that they're now pitted against each other. They're being navigated in different ways, and they're both trying to do what's right, but they're on such different pages because there's no communication because they can't be.
Yeah.
So it was tense. It was difficult. On set, sometimes we'd even get into arguments like, well, she shouldn't be doing this anyway. Because, I'm like, no, but she's doing this because.
Exactly.
So it was really spilling over, but it helped the drama for sure. And, and Anthony.
I think being in a sci-fi, it really enhances the psychological nature of being human. Like you really like 10 times more than you would have in a normal situation. You get to see these situations and relationships sort of put under that kind of pressure. Can you just talk a little bit about Graham, the showrunner, and working with the co-stars Rebecca and Tim and some of these incredible actors? What it's like the day to day? You've got directors sort of coming in for different seasons, different episodes. What's it like, when you arrive on set, at the start of a season, sort of navigating what the tone is going to be like, where things are going, like who's kind of explaining those things and having influences? That's a very broad question.
No,
Start with maybe the directors and showrunner sort of part.
Yeah, well, I think we were really spoiled on this show, and we said that every day. That it was such a collaboration from producers, showrunners, runners, director. Everyone cared about the show so much, and everyone was so accessible, which I've never really experienced before. You could meet up with the director, producer, and writer if you had a situation. Everyone knew you inside out, and it was a real cliche, but it was a real family vibe.
Yeah, definitely.
And it made a difference to the running of the day to day, really, didn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And I think, I guess it's everybody say, our showrunner was, but Graham really is a great leader. I think he empowered us, but also, made sure that we knew the level that was expected, the standard. But he also is the type of person that knew the hair and makeup people, knew like he would come on the set and it wasn't like people were in fear. It was like people were happy to see him. And that says something in leadership, when people that normally don't get to be in contact with you are and happy to see you. It's a joy. And it's just, I remember I brought some of my friends and close people I work with, and he just talked to them for a long time. And it just was like, I was looking like, man, this is, to me, that stuff translates into the work. Like when you are a good human being and has some spirit and heart to you, you able to, like, as a creator, explore more about human relationships and be more understanding and compassionate. And I have to say that, as Alex said, this was for me one of the best experiences I've had filming, because things were accessible, because we all were like, we get to hang out. I mean, not just the actors, but it's like, man, we talking with each other, with the crew, whoever. Like, it's just, we worked for some years together too. So it was a beautiful, like, just connection and unit, and everybody cared. That caring really translated to me in the work that we do.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. It's been an amazing chat, and I can't wait to sort of see what happens into the next season, and keep making amazing TV. Well done.
Thank you so much. It was lovely to meet you.
Thank you, brother.
Well, there we have it. A very interesting chat, and I loved hearing these two perspectives on the psychology, the marital relationship, how they kind of approach things, finding that kind of grounded honesty into everything. And also just hearing about some of the collaborations, working with Tim Robbins and Rebecca Ferguson, all the kind of showrunner connections and what it's like being on set. I think if you're going to make something in high-end TV, make it good, make it complex, make it multi-dimensional. If I was an actor or a director, these are definitely the kind of show that I'd be interested in myself. So I'm looking very much forward to season 4. Also looking forward to chatting to Rebecca again. We'll definitely get you, Rebecca. She's actually still, her and Simon Pegg is probably our most listened to episode of all time. It's a record-breaking episode. They both had a lovely time and we had a great time. So we'll look forward to hopefully getting them back on season 4 of Silo when it eventually reaches our ears. But in the meantime, I hope you're enjoying the summer, finding something good to watch. Speaking of Apple, we have got an amazing Jerry Bruckheimer and Eddie Q, mega blockbuster film producer, responsible for all kinds of epics across the 90s and 2000s, many wonderful Denzel vehicles. And Eddie Q, one of the head honchos of Apple, who's very instrumental in forming the next wave and some of the current wave of excellent shows. So that's a great one to listen to alongside this. That's already out. And I'm going to be diving into Widow's Bay next, which is another Apple show. I've had a lot of very, very good things about it, and it looks right up my street. So there's a recommendation for you. Stay cool, enjoy your Lidos, and have a Pims on us. See you next Tuesday. I'm Dom Lenoir.